6-speed Dakota here, and today we're going to be changing the engine oil in this 2005, I believe it is, Honda Odyssey. It's almost exactly the same as the Honda Accord video I have, but I figured I'd shoot it anyway. All you'll need is 5 quarts of your favorite flavor of 5W20 engine oil. It has to be 5W20 because this motor has VTEC and variable cylinder management, which work by using the oil pressure, so you need the correct weight of oil. No substituting here. And tools, and obviously you're going to need a filter as well. Tools you're going to need a 17mm wrench and a pair of oil filter pliers, oil filter wrench of some sort, just in case that filter's stuck on there. So let's get started. I have the van actually up on ramps. You know, it's actually easier to put it on jack stands and turn the wheels the one way, but the problem is I can't find the jacking point up front, and this van is just too wide to fit in my garage and get the jack on either side. So I'm going to go underneath, we're going to drain the engine oil. Okay, so when we come underneath the front of the vehicle here, immediately on the passenger side of the vehicle is the engine oil pan. And if I don't recall correctly, it says right here, engine oil. So unless you can't read, you really can't screw this up. So we're going to take our suitable drain bin and place it underneath. I'm going to put my gloves on. And we're going to remove the drain plug. Now it appears that this seal is actually leaking on the plug. So good idea to go ahead and replace the crush washer on it. It's tight. Oops. And there she goes. Now once that's finished draining, we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so now that the oil's finished draining, I've replaced the gasket on the plug. And I put the plug back in. Now this is an aluminum oil pan, so all you have to do, and of course I'm going to clean this up here so that until if it's leaking again, what you have to do is just take our wrench and snug it down tight. Yeah. I've already eaten, thank you though. Pardon the interruption. And we'll move on to the next step. Here's the oil filter. Now here's the little trick that I like to use to keep the control arm clean. Honda's got a special tool, or the subframe in this case. Honda's got a special tool that deflects the oil. But since I don't feel like spending that money, I just use a plastic bag. Like that. And it keeps all the oil from getting into the subframe and dripping everywhere. There we go. Try to position it so that, there we go. It just came off by hand. So I didn't need to go jump into the boat to grab my oil filter pliers. Now this sort of works, but you know, you just toss the bag afterwards. Oh, looks like she took it to Honda. There we go. Now we'll wipe the gasket surface and put the new filter on. So I've actually pre-primed the new filter. And we're just going to screw it in there. Now the reason why I wipe that gasket mating surface, so a lot of mechanics don't, because they get in a hurry, but that's why I've never double gasketed a filter before. So, oop. Just remember the rules, tight as you can, hand tight. That should do it. Alright, now we're going to fill the engine back up with oil. Right, so now the oil fill is right here, but it's kind of difficult to get to with this in the way. So there's two screws. There's one here. It's not really a screw actually, it's just that you turn it 90 degrees and that pops the clip out, and then this whole cover just pops right off and comes out. It gives you a little bit better access to this oil fill here. Plus I was planning on whoops. So now that this cover's off, it just gives you a little bit better access to this oil cap. Won't drop it down there this time for take two. There's a little bit of gunk in here, but not really that much. A little bit of gunk in the oil cap. So you can tell if you got a lot of stuff caked in here and down in the valve cover, you know, your oil hasn't been changed too frequently, but this thing doesn't run very far usually. It just usually runs around town, so put my old metal funnel in there. So this motor will take 4.5 quarts or liters of engine oil. Now I've already put about a half a quart in the filter, so I'm going to put about 4 in here right now. So this is going to take a while, so once this is done, we'll fast forward with the magic of film editing and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I've already wiped the dipstick, so I'm going to put it down in there, pull it out. As you can see, the oil is nice and full on there. Now another way to check if a vehicle has been properly maintained is how dirty or stained the dipstick is. This one's not too bad. The plastic dipsticks will tend to discolor anyway, but they'll discolor a lot more heavily if the vehicle hasn't been maintained. So I'm going to put the oil cap back on so you don't have spray everywhere. And we're going to start the engine. Okay, so now we're in the vehicle. Turn that off. So our little oil pressure idiot light's right there. That went out. Oh, now it's out. So, geez, this thing revs up pretty fast. So we look okay. Now we're going to reset the oil change reminder, which I'll show you how to do in a second. Okay, so now we're going to check and reset the oil change reminder. So when you cycle through everything and it goes to your change oil, it says right here, now that B there means that it's a B service. So that means we'll have to rotate the tires. And Honda will typically service the brakes. Now, I'm going to press and hold the reset button. Come on. Until it starts flashing, then we let go of the button and press it again. Keep it held down until it says oil life 100%. So right there's your little reset button. It also serves as your panel dim. So, let's zoom out. There we go, we got oil life 100% now. So now that little wrench light there beside the DRL light is off, and we're all good. So that wasn't so hard. We just changed the oil in a Honda Odyssey. Now next thing I got to do is rotate the tires. Alright, take it easy everybody. Thanks for watching.